So with Veterans Day right around the corner, it's fitting that Hollywood releases a movie to honor those who served our country so bravely, not in total agreement with that. However, after watching this movie, I gotta say, the veterans deserve better than this. And with that, I'm welcome you to another episode of The Romantic Room. My goal, as always, is to enhance your movie watching experience. So Midway, the newest movie by director Roland Emmerich here. Of course, this movie, chronicles a lot of the events and some of the heroes and officers involved in which were instrumental in its success over the Japanese when we fought them over in the Pacific Ocean, particularly the Midway battle, which obviously occurred as a result of their surprise attack against us in 1941 in Pearl Harbor. Now, I'm a big sucker for war movies, so I was kind of interested in see what he can bring to the table here. And this director is known for movies like Independence Day, 2012, The Day After Tomorrow, 10,000 BC. A lot of movies which visually look great but lack a lot of substance. And honestly, unfortunately, there's no difference here with this particular film. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't a horrible movie at the end of the day. It's mediocre at best. This movie has a lot of issues for me, which prevent this movie from really being that, the hard-nosed, gritty kind of war film that I like seeing. Things like whether it be Dunkirk or, of course, Saving Private Ryan, both with similar subject matter in World War II. And this one just doesn't really deliver anywhere near those levels, which is surprising because it has a really good cast. Woody Harrelson, Dennis Quaid is in there, Luke Evans, for example, Patrick Wilson. So it's got a lot of high A-list talent here. But essentially, I think Roland, it focuses more on the visuals than anything else, and the visuals are fine. It's got big battles, large scope battles, a lot of CG involved. Don't get me wrong, and some of it is noticeable, but I get it for the most part. But it does a good job filming the big scenes, and it looked great on the big screen. Of course, there's a lot of action going out of the planes, and it's very busy, almost a little bit too busy. You see bullets and explosions everywhere, and it's hard to focus on one particular thing. I think one thing we failed at is giving us a point of view to really focus on in those big battle scenes. But for the most part, it's a small gripe. But for the most part, where it was shot, and there's some exciting moments here. Don't get me wrong, this movie is not devoid of any entertainment value, but the problem is this is really just empty calories. There's no real substance. This is just it's just a lot of style over a lot of depth or lack thereof in this case. The story is pretty straightforward, chronicling a lot of scenes that got us involved against Japan, and it's weird because he focused on perspective from the Japanese side as well, and some of their officers and when they're planning against us, and even at the end kind of honors them as a dedication not only to the U.S. troops but also to the Japanese troops who fought in those wars. And I found that kind of odd because it's like saying more about World War II and honoring not only the Americans but the Germans as well for fighting. I mean, these guys were our enemies at the time. It was us against them, and to honor them is kind of awkward, and they were trying to obviously conquer us in some way. So it was kind of weird getting that perspective from the Japanese side. I could have done without it. Again, not a huge gripe, but it seemed kind of awkward, and I thought made the movie flow a little bit irregular, and I wanted something just focus on us, the Americans. This is what this movie is about. It's just what it's trying to honor and all that, and again, falling short of giving us something real deep here. This movie, the characters are fine, the were good performances for what they had to do, but it's not a character piece any stretch of the imagination. And it could have used that to kind of get you vested in what's going on. And it lacked a lot of dramatical punch in there, a lot of emotional punch. I just wasn't with it. I didn't get engaged in that aspect at all. It looked nice on the big screen, but for the most part, like I said, empty calories. This is a fast food movie. This one you probably watch and then 2 days later you kind of forget about for the most part. So all that being said, I really don't recommend you guys watching the big screen. If you're a huge war movie buff and all that, by all means, you're going to find some entertainment. Again, this is not a horror movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not a very good one. But I do recommend it. I think it's worth watching it at home at best. If you have some slight interest in this, catch it on demand, streaming, whatever the case is. I think you'll find a better use of your money than going to pay for it in the theaters. So that being said, Midway, you guys are going to watch it. Check it out. Let me know what you guys thought. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.